Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today, I want to share with you. I want to explain briefly about normalization one. It's a very basic concept on normalization. We will learn by example. I'm hoping that our learning is fun, our learning is easy, it's enjoy, and no more stress. Right. Okay. The example that I want to share with you is about students' grade report. Okay, this is the data on the student's grade for each subject. You can see there are so many attributes here. And once we talk about these data, okay, um, the first questions that you have to answer is how to identify FD or functional dependency. This is very important terms, okay, for the basic normalization. It's about FD. Okay, so we have steps on identifying FD. Okay, the first step is what is the possible primary key to determine the whole attribute. What is it, the possible primary key? Okay, normally, commonly, standardized. Okay, we can see that matrix is a very common primary key. Okay, in students' record. Am I right? Okay, so we can see that matrix is a common primary key. But the question is it enough? Only one primary key, I mean metric, okay, to identify for each row. Right? You can see that here it consists redundancy. Okay, the empty cell we can see that it consists redundancy. Right? So as I said, primary key cannot be redundant. Should be unique. So we can see that metric is no longer uniquely identifies for each row. So what's another primary key besides metric? Right? We cannot say student name, address. Okay, this consists redundancy. Maybe subject, credit hour, and grade. Credit hour, grade is not make sense. Okay, and once we talk about grades, students should know their metric and students should know their subject to identify the grade. So we can say the combination metric and subject together uniquely identify for each row. Right. Okay, step 2, you have to group the attribute based on the data info. Okay. Once you look directly here, okay, the attributes, actually you can group. Okay. You can see that metric, student name, address, code, prop name is about student personal. Subject, credit hour is about subject. Grade, okay, it's alone. Okay, but then I will explain later. And inside the student personal, you can see it consists another info. We can group another info. It's about program. Okay, in attribute prop code and prop name. Right. This is important because we want to identify. This is the steps to identify for FTs. Okay, it's make you much easier. Okay, to identify the FT. Right. Then you have to find key for each group. Okay, the first group is about student, the info of student personal, right? And we know that we have two primary key before, metric and subject. Okay, in this group we can see that metric is a primary key. So metric, okay, determine non-key attribute, student name, address, prop code, and prop name. Okay, this is the standard format, okay, to write the FD. Okay, this is the first FD, so you have to have right FD1, and this is the key metric. You have to draw arrow, and this is non-key, the right side non-key attribute. Right? How to explain? You can see metric determines student's name, address, prop code, and prop name. Meanwhile, student's name on the right side, address, prop code, prop name, dependent on the key metric. Right. Okay. So the second one is about subject info. Okay, we group before is subject info. The attribute that related is subject and credit hour. Okay, we can say that subject, it is a primary key that we determined before. So subject determine non key attribute. Alright, it's a create hour. So this is how to illustrate. Okay, the key don't have any arrow, and the non-key attribute must have arrow. Okay, and this is the standard format that I explained before. Subject, key, arrow, non-key attribute is a create hour. Subject, determine, create hour, dependent on subject. Right. Okay, the third group is about grade, but the question is what determine grade? Okay, what determine grade? Okay, this is the important things that you should know. Each value from the left side, okay, means that the key attribute is associated with exactly one value of the right side, a non-key attribute. Okay, I will explain later. Yeah? Okay, let's say, okay, we know that we have two primary key, metric and subject. But is it metric? Can I determine grade? If you look at here, metric, for example, previous data is P1, 2, 3, 4. Determine grade. These students, got three different grade, B plus, A minus, and C. Means that, okay, P1, 2, 3, 4 determines three values. Alright? Okay, if you look at here, each value from the left side is associated with exactly one value. On the right side, got more than one value. Right? So is it only we can see that I mean yeah, all right. So is it can be uniquely, I mean metric number can determine grade. Okay, we can say that it is not enough. Okay, it's no longer to determine grade. So you have to combine with another key. Okay, another key is subject. Okay, let's say we put the example, metric number P1, 2, 3, 4 and subject finance. Okay, combination of primary key, metric and subject. It produces one value. P1, 2, 3, 4 business. It produces another one value. So it is related with the statement which the left side, this is the left side, is associated exactly on one value of the right side. So means that metric and subject determines grades. Alright? Right. Okay, next group is about info of program. And the attribute related is prop code and prop name. So you can say that prop code determine prop name. The same thing I will repeat. Okay, next step you have to list all the FDs. Okay, FD1, FD2, FD3, FD4. As I said, this is the standard format. Okay, you should follow to answer the questions on exam or the tutorial. Okay, FD1, key attribute, non-key attribute. Key attribute, non-key attribute at right side, left side, key attribute. Right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how to identify the type of dependency? Okay, we have partial, we have transitive dependency, we have fully functional dependency, or we call it a primary key. We have composite key. Okay, you can refer to the notes or you can refer to the textbook of database. There are so many type of FTs, right? Partial dependency if non-key attribute depends on a part of the primary key. We have two, right? Primary key, metric and subject. So depends on a part of primary key, we call partial. This one also same, part of primary key. If the entire primary key, we call as a fully functional dependency of primary key itself. But if a non-attribute depends on non-attribute, so this is we call transitive. The blue one is transitive because prop code, it is not a primary key, right? But it can determine prop name. Prop code can determine prop name, so we call as a transitive, right? Right, I think that's all for today. I'm hoping that you will enjoy. So we will continue on the next explanation. Thank you. Bye bye.